excellent news for the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark showing back up at practice.
Caitlin Clark had a huge leap in her possible return to the basketball court.
Caitlin Clark was back at practice.
Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy. Caitlin, you have to sit down, man.
Caitlin Clark was just seen back in Fever practice gear.
Caitlin Clark in practice clothes right there.
Jumping around and fired up. But she's still injured, and the team says there's no return date yet.
Seeing her in practice clothes, people went, wait a minute now. Is she closer to a return than we think? And maybe she is, but I doubt it.
Fans are hopeful, but questions remain. Is she pushing too soon or gearing up for a big comeback? If you stand with Caitlin Clark, comment 100% below.
Caitlin Clark was back at practice today. Workout attire. Now, I don't know how much she participated, but she was there at practice as the Indiana Fever gear up to beat.
The energy around the Indiana Fever shifted dramatically when Caitlin Clark was seen back at practice. Suited up in full gear, moving, smiling, and interacting with her teammates.
Starting guard Caitlin Clark would be out indefinitely. No, they didn't say it that way officially. There is no timetable available for her return, the team said in a statement.
For a player listed as out indefinitely, that one visual was all it took to send fans into a frenzy.
Caitlin Clark is in gear. She is in gear at practice. Lads, that is super duper important. That is a big sign when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
It wasn't speculation or rumor this time. It was real. Clark in practice attire, standing on the court, not in street clothes, not confined to the bench.
But it's hard to say that because we know the fans want her there and they want autographs and stuff like that. And she wants to make up for not actually being able to play.
That single image sparked new hope and renewed excitement, not just for Indiana fans, but for the entire WNBA audience who knows how much she means to the league.
Do I think Caitlin Clark should take it as handy as possible? Of course. Take it as handy as possible. Go as slow as possible. Go at whatever speed you feel comfortable at, Caitlin. Take as much time as you need.
They didn't say it that way officially. There is no timetable available for her return, the team said in a statement.
But here's the reality. As promising as it looks, Caitlin is still injured. She hasn't been cleared for contact drills. She's not running full practices.
Scott Agnes, the Fever gained clarity on Caitlin Clark's status. Move forward without her in the interim. He wrote an article, so I went to the article to check this out. I gotta tell you, it's concerning.
And according to a detailed report by Scott Agnes from the Fieldhouse Files, the team has no timeline for her return.
Clark will return, will continue working with the Fever medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation with the priority for health and long-term health and well-being.
The Fever released an official statement saying Clark will continue to work with the medical staff, with her long-term health and recovery being the top priority. It's a cautious but necessary move for someone who has been playing through multiple injuries since her college days.
As far as her getting back from the injury, I think that's the best. Coming back for this season. Now, the actual best that I think she might need to do is just wait it out. Let's just look forward to 2026.
This isn't just about returning for a few games. It's about making sure she's built to last for the seasons to come. Still, fans couldn't help but analyze every movement she made during practice.
We got Caitlin Clark sitting right here, man, after I think it was a tough shot by Aaliyah Boston and nothing was called. Let's take a look at this, man. Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy.
Some noticed her jumping during warm-ups, celebrating on the sideline, and even stepping into team huddles. That competitive fire hasn't dimmed one bit. In fact, it might be burning even brighter. And that's part of the challenge.
Go at whatever speed you feel comfortable at, Caitlin. Take as much time as you need.
Caitlin Clark isn't someone who takes a back seat easily. She wants to lead. She wants to play. She wants to compete. But now, for the first time in her career, she's being forced to slow down. And that's not easy for a player wired like her.
The Fever gained clarity on Caitlin Clark's status. Move forward without her in the interim.
There's also confusion surrounding her status. On the same day she was seen at practice, the Fever also announced that they were moving forward without her in the interim. That phrasing left many fans scratching their heads.
It's weird that Stephanie White did the whole we ain't got to worry about her practicing or not practicing, and then boom, she's out there in practice clothes.
Why is she at practice in uniform if she's not close to returning? Is she doing non-contact work, light shooting, or simply staying engaged with the team? The lack of clear answers has only fueled more speculation.
This is the video that a lot of people have talked about earlier because Caitlin Clark is in the video. She's right here.
Caitlin Clark being back at practice, even in a limited role, changes everything for the Indiana Fever. Her presence alone brings a level of energy, focus, and leadership that no other player in the organization can replicate.
Caitlin, sit down, dog. Oh, my goodness. They have to do a better job containing her, just telling her to relax, right? Hey, Caitlin, I understand you're excited. I understand you are a lady of passion. You're full of energy. Just want the best of the best for this team. Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy. Caitlin, you have to sit down, man.
Even while injured, she remains the heartbeat of the team. You could see it in her body language during recent practices, engaged in drills, clapping for teammates, helping organize plays from the sideline.
You know, because you want them to battle back, get back to 100%. They have to do the therapy, right? The physical therapy. Their mindset has to be strong in order to fight back and get back into playing. So you want this. You want this type of reaction. You want this type of energy, this fire.
When a player has that kind of magnetic influence, it goes far beyond what happens on the stat sheet. It's about culture. It's about belief. The Fever have struggled this season with inconsistency, but Clark's return to practice brings a sense of direction.
There's no more daily speculation. They can now have clarity. They now have clarity. Don't expect Caitlin Clark back until further notice.
Teammates look more energized. The mood shifts. It's as if her sheer will to compete starts rubbing off on everyone around her. Despite not being game ready, she's already having an impact on morale. And when you're fighting for a playoff spot, that mental edge is everything.
It's the 26th now. A week is the 1st. I think maybe like 2.5 weeks from now. So like maybe the 10th of August. I think the WNBA have said her estimated return date is the 12th of August. I think that's probably a fair estimate. That is probably a fair estimate. So I'm just going to look through the Indiana Fever's their schedule right now.
From a competitive standpoint, the team is in a fragile but hopeful place. Sitting just above .500 and clinging to playoff positioning, Indiana can't afford a collapse. But Clark's involvement, even off the court, helps stabilize the group.
We got Caitlin Clark sitting right here, man, after I think it was a tough shot by Aaliyah Boston and nothing was called.
Players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell benefit not only from her floor spacing when she plays, but from her vocal presence when she doesn't. Clark sees the game from a playmaker's lens, and she's been active on the bench, shouting out adjustments, hyping big plays, and reacting with raw emotion to every foul or missed call.
You know, because you want them to battle back, get back to 100%. They have to do the therapy, right? The physical therapy. Their mindset has to be strong in order to fight back and get back into playing. So you want this. You want this type of reaction. You want this type of energy, this fire.
Her basketball IQ doesn't take a break just because her body's on pause. What makes all this even more critical is the timing. The Fever's upcoming schedule is packed with high-stakes games, and the margin for error is thin. Clark might not be suiting up just yet, but her return to practice is a powerful psychological boost for a young team trying to find its footing.
The WNBA is exploding by every single metric you look at. TV ratings, merch, revenue, ticket sales, you name it. Like, they just had an expansion team, the Valkyries in Vegas. The fee was $50 million. They have sold out every single game. They are averaging more attendance than a third of the NBA teams.
That emotional lift matters in a league where momentum swings wildly. But it's not just about the players. Clark's presence also has a business and branding impact. Fans continue to show up because she might be there. Even in street clothes, she draws crowds. But being back in practice gear, that reignites hope. It tells ticket holders and broadcasters alike that the Fever haven't folded their season. that Caitlin's story is still unfolding, and people want to be a part of it. And while there are questions about the coaching staff's ability to build a system that fits her strengths, her return to the court, even gradually, gives them a second chance to do just that.
I think this is a really good addition, regardless, because she can shoot the ball, and we need a stretch big.
With the addition of stretch players like Chloe Bibby and the chance to rethink rotations during Clark's absence, the Fever have a rare opportunity to build a team that can better complement her style of play when she returns.
Big difference between Christy Sides and Stephanie White. I give Christy Sides credit. She seemed like she understood the importance of having Caitlin Clark in the lineup and letting her do her work on the court. Stephanie White seems like she doesn't get that. I'm gonna be honest.
The coaching staff now has to prove they can evolve and create a structure that elevates Clark, not just accommodates her. In every way that matters, mentally, emotionally, and tactically, Caitlin Clark's return to practice is more than just a rehab update. It's a statement. It says this season isn't over. It says Indiana still believes. And most of all, it reminds everyone that Clark's not just a star player. She's the leader this franchise is built around. Even when sidelined, she refuses to fade into the background. And with every moment she spends on that practice floor, the Indiana Fever look a little more alive.
Besides that, what it did for the past 10 years doesn't matter. We're in a new age with new superstars, new player, new interest, and look around at how talked about this league is.
As much as fans are eager to see Caitlin Clark back on the court, the reality of her situation is more complicated than just a hopeful practice appearance. According to official team reports, Clark is still rehabbing a groin injury, an issue that's lingered far longer than many anticipated. The team has provided no set timetable for her return, and phrases like "out until further notice" and "working with the medical team on recovery" have only deepened the uncertainty.
Caitlin Clark was back at practice today, workout attire. Now, I don't know how much she participated, but she was there at practice as the Indiana Fever gear up to beat.
Even though she's back in gear and lightly participating, her full return remains a mystery. Behind the scenes, Clark has reportedly been meeting with top doctors, some even outside of Indiana, to get second opinions and ensure her long-term health isn't jeopardized. That decision alone shows how serious this injury might be.
Doctors across the country to possibly get this groin injury addressed. Multiple reports was coming out from Indiana Fever coaching staff and possible reports in the WNBA that Caitlin Clark was up in New York meeting with doctors.
For an elite competitor like Clark, sitting out is never easy. But the combination of a lingering groin strain and past injuries is forcing her to confront something new. Patience.
I plan on putting hands and feet and beating down the gum on the bottom of the shoe of the league.
This is not a one-game decision. It's a career-defining moment. Does she push herself to return for a possible playoff run? Or does she think bigger about longevity, about next season and beyond?
I mean, surely she's not coming back for the Sky game. There was a report out there from ESPN that she's coming back August 12th. The only problem with that is that's related to absolutely nothing. There's no information around them posting that.
Speculation is swirling among analysts and fans alike. Some believe Clark could return as early as August 10th or 12th, with games against teams like the Sky and the Wings circled on calendars. These dates line up with whispers about a 2 to 3 week ramp-up period where she might progress to 5-on-5 drills and full contact scrimmages.
Now, what is the update on her injury? We really don't know nothing. No news is coming out confirming exactly a time frame for how long Caitlin Clark is going to be out. No doctors had even said anything. But as of right now, only positive note we got is strictly from Scott Agnes, Fieldhouse Files. That is him going to the Indiana Fever practice.
It's a cautious plan, and one that many believe would allow her to contribute down the stretch without compromising her recovery. Others argue it's still too soon, and that even thinking about a return in early August risks a setback that could linger into next season.
Her injury is bad, but it might not be as bad as we think because she's stressing out in practice. The other day when they played, we seen her jumping up and down. And I'm just here to tell you, Caitlin Clark return could be back sooner than later.
Then there's the fan debate, which is growing louder. Some supporters are urging Clark to sit out the remainder of the year altogether, especially if Indiana falls out of playoff contention. Rest now, dominate later, they argue, pointing to the Fever's inconsistency and fragile chemistry. But others, just as passionate, are counting down the days until she's back.
I would have thought Caitlin Clark was Stephanie White out there, the way she was going crazy on that bench. I mean, even Stephanie White was going crazy over some of the no calls.
They see her as the team's only hope to secure a playoff spot and make noise in the postseason. These fans argue that Clark brings more than just stats. She brings belief, leadership, and a level of gravity that shifts how opposing teams defend the Fever entirely. Meanwhile, a more concerning thread is also emerging.
Everybody wants her to return as soon as possible, but that must come only when Caitlin Clark's body has healed and she feels both comfortable and confident. This is a new experience for her, dealing with multiple injuries and missing extended time.
Some believe Caitlin might try to force her return even before she's ready. And based on her fiery presence on the sideline, jumping, pacing, reacting to every call, it's clear she's itching to play.
This is the video that a lot of people have talked about earlier because Caitlin Clark is in the video. She's right here. All right, wearing some practice clothes. Right there. That's her. Michaela Timpson shot a half-court shot. There's Chloe Bibby right there.
Several clips showed her on her feet constantly during games, cheering loudly and moving with a level of intensity that made fans both excited and nervous. Medical experts would likely prefer she rest completely, but Clark isn't wired that way. She's a competitor first, and it's on the coaching staff and team doctors to rein her in before that passion turns into another setback. Still, it's hard to ignore what this return, even a partial one, means for the WNBA as a whole.
Well, you and I know that Fever guard Caitlin Clark is known for her incredible passing skills on the basketball court. But today, the biggest superstar in the WNBA had her most important assist this season, helping IPS students have a winning school year. The Caitlin Clark effect has created huge crowds everywhere the Fever play.
Caitlin Clark isn't just the Fever's star. She's the league's engine right now. Her absence doesn't just affect Indiana's standings. It affects ticket sales, viewership, and overall league momentum.
She's been out there, you know? And I understand part of it was All-Star Weekend, this, that, and the other, but you get my point. This is interesting. All right. Out until further notice? Okay, that does sound a lot like out indefinitely.
That's a lot to carry, and yet Clark has done it with grace. Every autograph she signs while injured, every game she attends to support her team, it all adds to the legend she's quietly building. So will she be back in time to push the Fever into the playoffs? Will she risk it all for a late season run? Or will she choose the long road, prioritize health, and return only when fully ready?
Excellent news for the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark showing back up at practice.
Caitlin Clark had a huge leap in her possible return to the basketball court.
Caitlin Clark was back at practice.
Look at Caitlin Clark jumping like crazy. Caitlin, you have to sit down, man.
The answer isn't clear yet, but what is clear is this. Caitlin Clark isn't content sitting still, and whether she's on the floor or fighting to get back there, she continues to command the attention and respect of an entire sport.
Sid did a great job. I was so proud of her getting up on that stage. It was a big venue. It was a large venue, and I don't know anything about comedy, but I know that when you play in environments that are large and sometimes seem like sterile, it's much more difficult than environments that are tight and loud. So I'm really proud of Sid. She did.
Whether she's running plays or rehabbing behind the scenes, Caitlin Clark's impact on the game is undeniable. Her return to practice, even while injured, shows just how much she's willing to give for her team, her fans, and the league she's helping redefine. But as the Fever fight for a playoff spot, the question isn't just when she'll return, it's whether she should. One thing's for sure, her fire hasn't gone anywhere. And when she finally steps back on that court, it won't just be a comeback, it'll be a moment. If you believe in Caitlin Clark and can't wait to see her dominate again, drop a 100% in the comments.